All right, we're live. Guys, we got to talk about what's going on in Minnesota, what it means bigger picture, what it means to America. Because on the left right now, what you're seeing is people who think fighting is screaming at a camera. And that's a weird dynamic. But on the right, you see people who know fighting is about ending the threat. If these two forces meet in an American suburb, the battle doesn't last days. It's going to last minutes. We are raising a generation of soft targets who believe that their moral outrage is a force field, but it's not. And you and I both know that. These protesters are trained to look for cameras and audiences. Combatants are trained to look for cover and lines of fire. And I saw a report, a news article that scared the hell out of me, and I had to talk about this. But in American civil unrest, you can scream at a cop and then go home to Starbucks. These kids, and I say kids because most of them look like kids, expect rules of engagement. They expect cops to not use the force that these enemy combatants will use. They are used to an enemy, and they call the enemy the police, or they have formed the enemy as the police. And the police are restrained by law. But an invading force is not restrained by anything but ammo capacity. And these revolutionaries that we're seeing on the streets in Minneapolis, we saw it in Los Angeles, you're about to see it in New York. That's where it's going next. It will happen in New York next. But these so-called revolutionaries, they panic when the DoorDash app is down. What happens when the water stops? An invader, like the guy in our thumbnail, moves with violence of action. The protester moves with performative emotion. Every protester has a press pass and an iPhone. And that's their weapon of choice, I guess. But these soft targets, and I will call all of these protesters soft targets, they have become liabilities. They are clogging roads. They panic. They get people killed. Oftentimes, they're getting themselves killed. And our enemies, China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, fill in the blank, they're all watching this. They are watching these protests, and they aren't seeing democracy in action. They're seeing weakness. They are seeing a population that creates internal chaos over words like being physically unable to defend their soil. Because I don't believe any of these protesters would actually take up arms and try to defend America if we had some Red Dawn moment. I'd love to get your opinion on that. I put a poll in the chat. Would protesters in Minneapolis fight for sleeper cells? 12% say you don't know. 80% say yes. 6% say no. Okay. But I'll tell you this, on a submarine, everyone is essential. If one guy breaks down, we all die. And America is currently carrying millions of people who would break down the second the pressure gauge moves. Peace is a luxury that has been paid for by men who are capable of violence. And if you want to protest, go for it. Go out in 20-degree weather in your underwear for all I care. But I want you to understand right now, your right to scream has been protected by men who know how to shoot. And if that protection ever fails, the screaming will stop. You know it as good as I do. I've been sick for about the last 48 hours. I got the flu. Still feel like Froggy from what was it? Little Rascals. But I've had some time to zoom out and talk to a couple of buddies on the phone who are not as deep into the woods as you are. And out of nowhere, one of these guys brought up the question, would these protesters fight for America the same way they're fighting for people that are not even supposed to be here? And then with the help of some Sudafed, some bourbon, some honey, and a fever, I started doing some research. Would there be a better time to invade America than right now? Are the protesters along the same lines as sleeper cells? Are they puppets? Who's paying for them? Those are just some of the questions that I had. I've got a couple of clips here and some news articles. This is the news article that it started me digging. It really started me digging into things. Okay, hold on. Runny nose. Sorry, I apologize. Actually, I don't care. But the Pentagon is warning that future wars, this came out 2 days ago. The Pentagon is warning that future wars may hit U.S. soil as direct military threats grow. I'm going to see if I can play this clip here.
Kaboom. Another boat off of the coast of Venezuela just got blown to smithereens. And these weren't fishermen on a shipwrecked crew. They were bad hombres, narco-terrorists. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth ordered the lethal kinetic strike earlier today as part of Operation Southern Spear. 2 narco-terrorists are reportedly dead. This comes just after Trump gave Maduro a late Christmas gift, a missile to Venezuela's drug-loading docks.
There was a major explosion in the dock area where they load the boats up with drugs. They load the boats up with drugs. So we hit all the boats, and now we hit the area. It's the implementation area. That's where they implement, and that is no longer around.
Maduro thought Trump was bluffing when he threw around the idea of land strikes. Guess not. The docks are about as close to home as it gets. Guess the dictator should have listened to all of the warning shots.
You have to understand what he's done. They've sent billions of dollars of drugs in, but maybe just as bad, they've sent hundreds of thousands of people in from jails, from prisons, from mental institutions and insane asylums, the drug lords, the drug dealers. Every boat that we take out, we save 25,000 lives of Americans.
Oh, Maduro, you've been a naughty fellow, and your country now isn't so mellow. Because strikes are falling on land, you, my good sir, are outmanned. It's not just Christmas for old dictator Nick. There are a few others on the naughty list who deserve a big old kick. We're not just talking about you, Ilhan. Our eyes are on the state of Iran.
I hope they're not trying to build up again, because if they are, we're going to have no choice but very quickly to eradicate that buildup. So I hope Iran is not trying to build up. I hope they're not doing it, because we don't want to waste the fuel on a B-2. It's a 37-hour trip both ways.
So what we're seeing right now, and we have seen it, is Iran just over the last 48 hours just had another explosion. One of their test facilities just exploded. And it got me to thinking, we have seen how many people have been here in our country protesting for Iran, protesting for Palestine, protesting for every country but America. Have you seen a pro-America protest? I think that would be like Twilight Zone level crap right now. But it's so clear who these protesters are actually for. They're for people that shouldn't be here. They're for anything that is anti-American. Anything that is anti-American these protesters will latch onto. And I'll show you this. I want to show you this. Liberals in media are justifying and defending leftists bringing guns to anti-ICE protest. Well, you have the right to carry your Second Amendment right. Do whatever you want. I don't care. But when they're actively telling them to bring firearms, there is going to be someone, if not all of them, that are unhinged. We just saw this. They hit a guy with a car. They wrestled with a guy. Whether or not you believe anything about the incident with this Alex Peretti, whatever, I don't care. That's up to you. Make your own decisions. He's not, the officers are not going to get convicted of anything. I don't believe that. We had Andrew Branca on the other day. He talked about it. This is clear, open and shut. But the people in the United States protesting for this stuff are the people that I'm worried about. That's who I'm actually worried about. Look at this article from The Hill. Iranian sleeper cells. What to know about U.S. warnings. We have been told that there's sleeper cells here in the United States. When do they activate? If I was going to activate a sleeper cell wherever you lived, it would be at the point of the most chaos. That's what I would do. The most chaos. Think about this. All of these naval ships over in the Straits of Oman, the Mediterranean, they're in the Persian Gulf. How many days would it take for them to get back to the United States if something were to happen here? How many days would it take to get United States military soldiers from Germany, from England, from the other 200 countries around the world back to the United States? How long would it take to get troops back here where we need them if something were to happen? We've seen incidents happen on United States military installations where the United States military on bases here in the United States are not even armed. They're not even armed. And yet we think that we could withstand something like this. Let me show you this article. 1,500 entered illegally. How many Iranian sleeper cells are active in the United States? This is crazy that we could even talk about this. But it's happening, or it has happened. And I don't know how we think about all the people that are protesting to get rid of illegals. What if we started rounding up sleeper cells? There will be no protesting. There will be actual combat in the streets. And these people that are in the streets protesting, singing their little songs, hey, hey, ho, ho, Donald Trump has got to go, will be begging for help. They will absolutely be begging for help. Somebody says, how many CIA cells are active in Iran? I don't care how many CIA cells are active in Iran. I don't care. I hope the CIA is destroying every level of nuclear capabilities that they have. Let me show you this. This is happening right now in Minnesota. These protests, look at this. This is happening in Minnesota right now. There's a U-Haul truck that pulls up and dumps out a bunch of signs. Look at it.
Look at this. Here goes a group of professional activists renting a U-Haul, getting signs out of their trucks. This is not organic. These are the same printed signs. And now they're heading to the federal courthouse.
What do we want? When do we want it?
Do you know who's organizing this?
The PSL, Party for Socialism.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to sign?
I'm just going to observe. Thank you, though.
Tuck in, meet your neighbors, because again, hey, remember, we're not doing this by ourselves, right?
Which group is organizing this?
Party for Socialism and Liberation. We've been out here for a few years.
How do you join? Like, if you want to also donate?
It's pretty easy. You can look it up, pslweb.org.
Got it. Is there like a Minnesota or Minneapolis chapter?
Twin Cities.
Twin Cities. So, okay. So people can simply just donate and goes to signs and whatever out here to protest. Okay.
If we don't get it, if we don't get it.
Are you starting to understand this now? It is all organized. It is all organized. If you don't think that these sleeper cells are attached to this, you're crazy. And then we have someone like this. This is Mike Lawler out of New York. If you live in New York, this is your problem.
He has also won the argument when it comes to deporting criminal aliens. Most Americans agree with that. Where I think most Americans also agree is that if you have been in this country 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you've been working, you've not committed crimes, you have children or grandchildren that are American citizens. We want a legal path forward, not citizenship, not amnesty, but a legal process forward that those people can come out of the shadows and go through. The reality is we're not going to be able to round everybody up and kick them out. And what you see in...
He's defeated. This guy is a clown. This is Mike Lawler. And this is pathetic. This is absolutely pathetic that this so-called Republican is preaching this pathway to amnesty. Democrats would love this idea. I don't know about you. I voted for mass deportations. That's what I voted for. I didn't vote for this limp-wristed loser to say the reality is that we're going to be able to round everybody up, or we're not going to be able to round everybody up. Right? Let me do this. Let's do this. Because I want to know how many of you have changed your mind on mass deportations. I don't think I have. I know I haven't changed my mind. And I don't think the American people have changed their mind. Look at this.
I like blunt questions because they sort of get at the underlying feelings that people have. So this is about as blunt a question as you can get. Deport all immigrants here illegally. I will note the ABC News poll asked about undocumented immigrants. So we have slightly different questions, but these were all taken within the last month. And there's real uniformity here. That's what I really think you see. You see real uniformity. Deport all immigrants who are here illegally. 55% of the New York Times. Marquette, 64%. CBS News, 57%. ABC News with a slightly different question, 56%. So what you're seeing essentially here is a very clear indication that a majority of Americans, in fact, when they're asked this blunt question, which I believe gets at the underlying feelings, do in fact want to deport all immigrants who are here illegally. There's no arguing with these different numbers because they're all essentially the same across 4 different pollsters. Feelings towards immigration in this country, feelings towards undocumented immigrants and deporting all of them have become considerably more hawkish. And I think that gives Donald Trump much more leverage to go with the American people and sort of have these hawkish, some might say harsh different rhetoric and also issue-based sort of going after immigrants who are here illegally, want immigration levels decreased. This includes legal and illegal immigration. Look at this. Last year, 55%. That is the highest level since the 9/11 aftermath. You go back just to 2020.
And this again, legal and illegal. So they people want less people coming into the country.
Exactly. They want less people coming into the country. Look at that. That's a 14-point rise from 2023. You go back to 2016 when Donald Trump again was running for president the first time, it's 38%. That's a 17-point rise. So the bottom line is more folks want people who are here illegally deported, and their overall feelings towards immigration have become considerably more hawkish.
63% say they're okay with deporting immigrants who are here illegally and arrived in the last 4 years. 87% are good with deporting immigrants who are here illegally and have criminal records.
I don't know about you. I'm not taking my foot off the gas. I keep the ICE number on my phone. Somebody said this is an old clip. Yeah, it was from 2 days ago. Real old. Thank you. God. Some people just can't be satisfied. I'd love to see their YouTube channels. I'd love to see the information they bring. But then you've got people like this. Do you live in Ohio? If you're in Ohio, this is your guy. This is your guy. You're in Ohio.
This is Elliot Forehand, candidate for Ohio Attorney General. I want to tell you what I mean when I say that I am going to kill Donald Trump. I mean, I'm going to obtain a conviction rendered by a jury of his peers at a standard of proof beyond a reasonable doubt, based on evidence presented at a trial conducted in accordance with the requirements of due process, resulting in a sentence duly executed of capital punishment. That is what I mean when I say that I am going to kill Donald Trump.
What do you think about that? Capital punishment, Ohio Attorney General. Some of you will probably vote for him. Some of you will probably vote for him. Some of the people in the chat will probably vote for him. It's okay. I don't care. I don't think he's going to win. But this is his campaign promise. Capital punishment for the president of the United States. Okay. We've got Republicans calling for amnesty. We have protesters protesting for illegals. We have a Democrat attorney general candidate calling for capital punishment for a sitting United States president. Back to my original question. Wouldn't it be a good time to activate some sleeper cells? I think they would get a lot of sympathy. And then, if you live in Virginia, let's take away the ability for you to defend yourself. Virginia Senate Committee advances a bill banning high-capacity magazines. This happened so long ago. This is an old story, obviously. 2 days ago. Criminalizing the possession of magazines over 10 rounds starting July 1st. So they enable protest, take away your ability to defend yourself, and call for active violence against the sitting president. Are you starting to see the method here now? Would this be a good time to actually invade the United States? Would this be a good time? Let's see. Would this be a good time for an actual invasion? I don't believe the people in Minneapolis understand what they would be supporting, but I do believe they would be. And look here. I don't know if this guy sounds very American, but I'll read you his name. The guy that came up with the idea to limit 10-round magazines. Senator Saddam Aslan Salim, born in Bangladesh. That's who's taking your Second Amendment right away. Someone not even born in this country. Does that sound right? Does that even sound right? I want everybody to have 200-round magazines because there might be 199 combatants in front of you. But this guy right here, he's from Bangladesh. And if signed into law, it would turn millions of law-abiding gun owners in Virginia into felons with the stroke of a pen. Somebody said, bite your tongue. It's not a good time to invade America. You absolute weak-minded. Oh, my God. I'm going to have to go off on this one. Hold on. Let me see this comment. Where was it? It was a comment from, I think somebody called Nancy. Of course it was Nancy. I expected Karen. Said, bite your tongue. It's never a good time to invade America. Are you that consumed with your feelings? Are you that consumed with your own delusion? What I'm saying is, if I was an enemy combatant, if I was Iran, if I was Afghanistan, if I was China, this is a low point in American history. And if I were them, this would be a golden opportunity. That's what I think. And when you have people like this, there's no telling how much money this guy is getting from whatever country that is paying him to pass a bill like this. I mean, come on. You've got to get over your feelings. You have to get over your emotional bullshit and start thinking logically. Somebody said, nobody's talking about the billions in fraud. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Everybody's talking about the fraud. Everybody's talking about the fraud. But we're allowing people in our country that shouldn't be in our country to actually change the Constitution. Somebody said, nobody's talking about the fraud. You're drunk. You're absolutely drunk on stupidity if you think nobody's talking about the fraud. Wake up.
I just think it was the video where it called him Dr. Frankenstein and said his monster shot him through the neck. I mean, obviously this is a person, and looking at this is someone who was a husband and a father. And in the days after his shocking death, that happened as a result of his views, or it happened as a result as he was sharing his views publicly with people, that people found it jarring to hear such criticism of that in the immediate aftermath of
what I find jarring is that there are so many people willing to excuse the most reprehensible things that he said, that they agree with that they're willing to have monuments for him, that they want to create a day to honor him, and that they want to produce resolutions in the House of Congress honoring his life and legacy. It is one thing to care about his life, because obviously so many people loved him, including his children and wife. But I am not going to sit here and be judged for not wanting to honor any legacy this man has left behind. That should be in the dustbin of history, and we should hopefully move on and forget the hate that he spewed every single day.
I just think it was.
This is Ilhan Omar. refusing to acknowledge anything about Charlie Kirk. Now, I want to know what kind of investigation comes out with this. This is Ilhan Omar last night. The man accused of spraying Ilhan Omar is Anthony. I don't even want to say the name. Can't even say it. He has never been charged with a violent crime, convicted twice of DUI. He filed a divorce case in 2017. He's unemployed. He's receiving disability insurance payments. Go figure. What does he sound like to you? Now, I want you to watch this because I think Ilhan signaled the guy. I can't prove it, but you tell me what you think. Because I believe she nods her head to him and then he sprays her with, I don't know, probably cat piss. You think it's staged?
I don't know. Oh my God, he sprayed something on her. I need a napkin to know nothing.
I want you to see the very beginning. He is sitting in the front row. It's almost like she nods towards him. Right there. Love to get your opinion on this. But it damn sure looks like it was staged. Somebody said she didn't look scared. No, I don't think she did look scared. Here we go. I think this is an AI generated photo. Maybe. Alleged. Possibly. But do you think that she gave him the signal to do this? Because it kind of looks like she signaled for him to do what he did, squirt her with whatever the hell it was. It's kind of what I thought, right? Let me see if I can find the other angle of this. There's another angle front facing. She didn't look concerned. I agree. Right here. Okay, let's go here.
Abolishment of the agency. ICE cannot be reformed. It cannot be rehabilitated. We must abolish ICE.
He's sitting in the very front, 3 feet from her.
For good. And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment. I don't.
Let me back that up, and I'm going to make this a larger image because I really believe that this was. I believe it's planned.
And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
Do you see the nod right there?
Resign or face impeachment.
Right after she says the word impeachment.
Resign or face impeachment.
Right after the word impeachment.
Resign or face impeachment.
Do you see it? If you didn't see it, you're refusing to see it. If you didn't see it, you're choosing not to see it.
It's not about him. It's about your safety. No, he sprayed something on you. You need to go get checked. Yeah, and it smells terrible.
We're gonna keep talking. Just give me
Does that make any sense for her to keep talking? It could have been some kind of toxic substance, could have been acid, could have been some kind of poison, some kind of Russian, whatever. Did she know that it was? I mean, is that how desperate that the Dems are?
Everybody settle down. I'm going to finish my remarks. It is important for me to continue.
And she can't say the word important. It's important. Important. Was that staged? 98% of you say it was staged. 98%. He said that? Okay. Okay, here we go. I love seeing some of the comments. I love the comments. Somebody said it wasn't staged. He was obviously MAGA. Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. If you chose not to recognize that this was staged, that's entirely up to you. Completely up to you to come to that conclusion. But the guy was he was like in the very front. In the very front. Right? Come on. I don't know how certain people can continue to ignore this. It damn sure seemed like it was staged to me. Let's go here. Let's go here. Do you think Tim Walz has cut a deal?
I think he's also trying to make sure he's protected long term. I don't know what happens on these calls. I would only say I don't know what he's going to ask for. You know, wink, wink. Hey, if I work with you on this, can I get a pardon? I don't know what the guy's going to be asking the president. You know, these guys have a lot of audacity. The previous guy that was the president said he wanted to depoliticize when it comes down to pardons. Then he goes and pardons his family, Fauci, everybody else. So I don't know what Walz is going to be asking for, but I will tell you, part of me likes the fact that somebody who was extremely on the opposing side and our president are talking to each other. I think this is very good for America. I think it helps going into midterms. It shows no matter how much smack everybody on the left talks, crime is down 20%, murder is down 20%, borders are clean, Republicans support Trump more than ever before, and the Democrats, Harry Enton, I feel bad for the guy. He was showing a poll just 2 days ago about how much Democrats don't support Democrats. Can you imagine how embarrassing that is today?
Do you think Tim Walz is trying to get a pardon? Would he go that far to save himself? I think he might. I think Tim Walz very well could try to get a pardon. Let's go here. This is a good clip from Tyrus last night.
3 million to 5 million people who watch politics and stay on top, we know what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's the rest of the country who's living their lives, who don't watch TV, that just vote. Well, I'm a Democrat, so here's my vote. That's who you got to get paying attention. And that means guys, boots on the ground in those communities. President Trump should be like, I will come to your town and help you when you do 5 rallies and you get to this point and you move up this. Then the president will come, hit the home run, clean up for you. But he's having to build this from the ground up. And I think that's a lot to ask given what's going on the entire world right now. He has a lot on his plate.
I think he's right. I think Republicans have relied too much on Trump. And if they continue to rely on Trump, I think the midterms could really be up in the air. Midterms could be tough, especially when we have the Senate that will not take the SAVE Act to the floor to vote on. It's been on the desk of John Thune for almost 9 months, and he won't bring it to the floor for a vote. That's a problem. That's a real problem. Something's got to be done here to get, only Americans voting in American elections, especially with the amount of chaos that we've got happening right now. I stopped voting Democrat when Jimmy Carter sold the Panama Canal for $1. Thomas, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate all the supers rolling in. Really do. Looks like we got some new members that joined the channel. Phil, appreciate it. Let's see here. Jane Hamilton, thank you very much. New member. Jenny, new member. KRO, $20 super chat. Thank you. Let's go right there.
Hallelujah. And boom shagalaka.
Omar pulled a Jussie Smollett. Was it that staged? Okay. No one's talking about the billions of dollars in fraud. Come on, you're joking. Don't even. Rick gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, Rick. Tom, $5. Appreciate you, Tom. R&R, I believe those opposed is the actual illegal immigrants in that survey. I don't think we have a lot of illegals that watch my channel. I don't know. People want to be prioritized in their own country. We're tired of paying for immigrants and refugees when we can hardly pay our own bills. This is from an immigrant. Land Biltong or Biltong USA. Go check out. He's one of the sponsors on the channel. Moved here from South Africa. He knows what apartheid is. He escaped it. For Ben, cold meds. Thank you so much. I need to go to the pharmacy. I do. I stopped voting for Jimmy Carter when he sold the Panama Canal for $1. Nice. MAGA would not have acted petty like that. I don't know, man. Is it time for us to start acting petty? Is it time for us to start acting petty? Because I think playing nice hasn't worked. Playing nice has not worked. I don't know. Is it time for us to just play dirty? I'm at that point right now. Whenever I see this.
I want to bring back a tweet from Charlie Kirk in 2018. He says this: the Second Amendment's not for hunting. It's not for self-protection. It is there to ensure that free people can defend themselves if, God forbid, government became tyrannical and turned against its citizens. And I think a lot of people are pointing to this because, I mean, what we saw in the streets.
So now CNN supports the Second Amendment. They support Charlie Kirk. They support borders. What? You cannot make this up, man. You cannot make this flip up by the left. You cannot make it up. But I'm telling you, I am more worried about the problems that are already here. I am very worried about the potential for sleeper cells that are already here than I am the protesters on the street. But I will say this. The protesters on the street, in my opinion, would fight for the sleeper cells. Why wouldn't they? That's just my opinion. I'd love to get your take on this, but I damn sure think they would. I see no reason that they wouldn't. Right? Man. These people that are protesting everything in America, everything good in America, it damn sure seems like that they would turn on you in a second. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? Guys, this is the Ben Dyke Show. I'm out of here.